You wake to the hum of filtered air and artificial light. The glass dome glows faintly in the dark, like the inside of a snow globe that forgot what winter feels like. Outside, the ocean presses against your world, silent, heavy, endless. You remember Texas, or maybe you only remember wanting it. Warm sun, dry air, the smell of earth instead of salt. Now all you have is condensation on your helmet and the illusion of freedom in a place designed to keep you alive, not free. You built this cage yourself. A marvel of science, they said. A triumph of innovation, they cheered. But the truth hides in the hiss of oxygen. You engineered your own isolation. The others think you're happy here. They see the gadgets, the grit, the pride. They don't see the ache. They don't hear the silence after the laughter dies, when the filter hum becomes the heartbeat of your loneliness. Every story needs a hero, they told you. But nobody said the hero would live at the bottom of the sea, breathing air like a secret, pretending the ocean isn't swallowing her whole. And so it begins. Another day in paradise, another echo before the storm. You wake before dawn, though time means nothing underwater. The sun doesn't rise. It just filters through millions of gallons of indifference. You stretch, you yawn, you check your oxygen levels. Same as yesterday. Same as always. They call you the smartest mammal in Bikini Bottom, which is like being the only one wearing pants in a clown parade. Every time you open your mouth, someone laughs. Not because you're funny, but because you don't belong. You try to sound proud, to own the joke. I'm from Texas. You shout. It echoes in the dome and fades into static. You build machines to escape boredom, but they turn on you. You build dreams to escape loneliness, but they turn hollow. SpongeBob knocks on your door. He means well, too well. His optimism is nuclear, his laughter relentless. You smile because that's what you do. You've learned that in Bikini Bottom, sanity is the punchline. When the laughter fades, the silence comes back. Thick, cold, pressing. You look out at the ocean and it looks back. Neither of you blink. Because neither of you can. You built a home in a place that doesn't want you. A world within a world. A fragile bubble of logic in a land that defies it. And deep down, you know the truth. You're not the genius here. You're the exhibit. Welcome to the joke. Once upon a time, you were human, or something close enough. You breathed real air, walked on dirt that didn't move beneath you, and felt the wind without measuring its composition. You wanted to explore, to push boundaries, to prove that a squirrel could touch the stars, so you dove deeper. You built the suit, the dome, the dream. You traded land for legacy. But somewhere between brilliance and obsession, you left your reflection behind. Down here, your accent became a quirk. Your science became magic. Your loneliness became entertainment. They love your confidence, your inventions, your stubborn pride. But they'll never understand the silence that follows your laughter. You tell yourself it's worth it. You're not like them. You're smarter, stronger, destined for more. But that voice is starting to sound like someone you used to be. You call home sometimes, but home doesn't call back. The letters stop coming. The horizon never changes. You've become a story told by fish who can't imagine the sky. And when nostalgia hits, it doesn't feel like memory. It feels like haunting. Because the land you left behind isn't waiting for you. It's already forgotten your name. You didn't just come to the ocean. You became its ghost. Wake up, suit up. Check oxygen. Repeat. Every day feels the same because it is. You tinker. You build. You break. You fight a giant worm. Wrestle a sea monster. Invent a rocket ship that only takes you back to where you started. You tell yourself it's adventure, but it's just movement. Motion disguised as meaning. They think you're unstoppable. But the truth is you're stuck. The dome is clean. The air is pure. The silence could drown a god. You blast country music just to remember what sound used to mean. SpongeBob visits again. Patrick follows. Chaos fills the room. Your inventions explode. Your patience implodes. And for a few seconds, the silence dies. You almost thank them for it. Almost. Then they leave. And it's just you again. You and the hum of the air filter. The echo of your own voice bouncing off glass. You look around at your machines and realize you've built 1,000 ways to escape, but not one to belong. That's the cruelest part of purgatory. It's not pain, it's pattern, and you've perfected it. You fought monsters, jellyfish, robots, plankton-sized despots. But your greatest enemy has always been stillness. You call it science. They call it obsession. You build armor against the world and then complain that no one gets close. You fight villains outside so you don't have to face the one inside. The restless voice whispering that you were supposed to be more than this. Some nights you dream of open skies. Then you wake to the thud of SpongeBob's laugh against your dome. You try to hate him. You can't. He's everything you're not. Content in chaos. Happy in ignorance. Free in captivity. And that's the nightmare. He doesn't need to escape. You do. Every fight, every invention, every desperate act of genius is just another attempt to outsmart gravity. But it's not gravity holding you down. It's guilt. The kind that doesn't need oxygen to breathe. Bikini Bottom is beautiful in the way a fever dream is beautiful. The colors are too bright. The laughter too loud. The rules nonsensical. Every law of physics is a suggestion. Every emotion exaggerated. You thought you could bring order here. But this place eats logic for breakfast and burps rainbows. You once believed you could teach them science, show them progress, maybe even save them. Now you just try to survive them. The sea isn't evil. It's indifferent. The creatures that call it home aren't villains. They're symptoms. You built your dome thinking it would keep the chaos out. But it only sealed it in with you. Every time you try to fix this world, it laughs. Every time you try to make sense of it, it rearranges itself like a cosmic prank. You can't win against something that doesn't know it's playing. And so, peace becomes your enemy. Because peace means acceptance. And you're not ready to forgive the ocean for existing. You begin to notice it. The pattern behind the pattern. The days don't just repeat. They recycle. The same laughter. The same lines. The same explosions. You test it. You take notes. You change variables. You write Tuesday on your wall. But every day is Tuesday. You're trapped in reruns. At first you think it's you, that you've finally lost it. But then you see it. SpongeBob never ages. Patrick never learns. Mr. Krabs never changes. They're not characters. They're echoes. Frozen in a loop so airtight even time can't escape. You laugh. A sharp, tired sound. Of course it's a loop. You're in a cartoon. You've built machines that bend space, but you can't escape narrative gravity. You're smart enough to know what's happening. And that's the worst part. Awareness isn't freedom. It's a spotlight that never turns off. You're not living anymore. You're performing survival. For them. You finally do it. You break through. You fix the rocket. You see the surface. The sunlight burns your eyes. For one impossible moment, you feel alive again. You made it. Except you didn't. The sky flickers. The warmth feels artificial. And just before you break the clouds, it all resets. Back in the dome. Back in the suit. Back to SpongeBob's knock, you scream. You cry, you laugh. You stop caring which is which. Because that's the joke, isn't it? The hero never leaves. The cycle always wins. The end isn't escape. It's just the next episode. The credits roll, but you're still here. You stop moving. The loop pauses. Not because you broke it, but because someone's watching. You can feel it. The eyes beyond the glass. The ones who laugh when you fall. The ones who call it nostalgia, they call it a cartoon. You call it a vivisection. Every episode. Every gag. Every gasping breath. They've replayed it all? You thought you were performing for them? But maybe you were the experiment. You press your hand against the invisible screen. For a heartbeat, someone out there presses pause. Both of you breathe the same silence. And you realize something cruel. They don't want peace either. They want the loop. Because without it, they'd have to face their own reflection. You smile. Because that's what they came for. A squirrel in a helmet. Surviving the impossible. You whisper, knowing they might hear it. You think I'm trapped in here. But look at you. Watching me drown again. The bubbles still. The laughter fades. The ocean holds its breath. Then the current shifts. The laughter returns. The loop resets, you're back in the dome. The machine hums. SpongeBob knocks. You smile. Because what else is there to do when the story refuses to end? It was never the ocean. Never the dome. Never even the loop. It's the audience. The ones who need you to suffer beautifully so they don't have to. And that's why it sucks to be Sandy Cheeks. You survived the loop. See you in the next tragedy disguised as a cartoon.